When I moved first to Peterborough and became a member of the parish of Sacred Heart and St. Oswald, I was curious to know who that saint was. I knew about the Sacred Heart, but looking at the big tapestry of King St. Oswald and St. Aidan week after week in the church set me wondering about who they were. The figures in the tapestry for ages remained mysterious figures to me. I now know that we have the image of St. Aidan displaying the gospel and talking to St. Oswald the king, who in turn is explaining and interpreting St. Aidan's reading of the gospel to the people of Northumbria. One year, I joined the parishioners on a pilgrimage on St. Oswald's feast day, August the 5th, to Peterborough Cathedral, an hour's walk away. There is a chapel there where a relic of St. Oswald, one of his arms, was venerated until the Reformation. The uncorrupted arm was the one that had been cut from his dismembered body after he had been killed in battle in the year 642, while safeguarding his Christian kingdom of Northumbria. So our church was named in the honor of martyred King Oswald. In later years, the parish was joined to the neighboring parish named the Sacred Heart. Our sainted king is widely popular, a hero from the first. It seems that there are over 300 churches in Britain and overseas which have dedications or references to St. Oswald. Another of our parish's pilgrimage has been to Lindisfarne, or Holy Island as it is known, 250 miles away off the coast of Northumberland. It was given by King Oswald to a community of monks as the base from which to spread the gospel to the people of his Northumbrian kingdom. Oswald had been brought up in the monks' monastery, so he knew the brothers there. He invited one of them, Bishop Aidan, to Lindisfarne to teach the faith to the Northumbrian people. He and Oswald were about the same age, became good friends, and formed a good team together. As Aidan didn't speak the local language, Oswald interpreted for him. It was said to be delightful to watch while Aidan preached the gospel and the king himself acted as interpreter. Aidan, to my way of thinking, was the perfect pastor. Even though he could not speak the language of the people of Northumbria, he found a way to preach. He went around with the king, and the king did the translating and interpreting for him. Aidan was clearly a man of God and a man of prayer. Oswald's people could feel the living presence of God in their midst. Aidan clearly believed what he preached and lived what he believed. So, Aidan the missionary was a remarkable man. King Oswald was too. He recognized the truth as Aidan preached it. Perhaps even more remarkable was the relationship between the two. We might think that they had very little in common. Oswald was a king who took seriously his duties of maintaining his kingdom, protecting his people, guarding them from ever-present dangers of invasion and destruction. Aidan's vocation, on the other hand, was directed towards saving souls, helping people understand the great richness of life with God in their lives here on earth, as well as in heaven. The relationship between Oswald the king and Aidan the monk showed a deep concern for the welfare of the people, their worldly as well as their spiritual well-being. Together, they reflected real leadership, dedicating themselves to the people they led. One Easter, Oswald invited Aidan to dine with him. A lavish meal set on a silver dish was brought to them, and Aidan was about to raise his hand to bless the food when a servant came in to tell the king that a great crowd of needy people had gathered outside, begging alms from the king. Oswald immediately ordered the meal to be given to the poor and the silver dish to be cut into pieces and distributed among them. Aidan, sitting beside him, was so moved at such generosity that he took hold of the king's hand and explained, "May this hand never wither." Later events proved that this prayer was heard. When Oswald was killed in battle, his hand and arm were cut off from his body. The arm that became the relic, honored in Peterborough's cathedral shrine until the Reformation. What connection has the life and death of St. Oswald and the Sacred Heart of Jesus? Well, it has everything to do with compassion, humility, sacrifice, and love. We Catholics have a sweet prayer which Aidan would have taught and King Oswald would have followed. Jesus, meek and humble of heart, make my heart like unto thine. May we be like St. Oswald, king and martyr, who showed us how to be heroic in standing up for the Christian life, explaining to others about our faith in words that can be easily understood and appreciated. And may we too be honest, kind, and generous.